This was the best.
Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Moving on to item 1, public comments. Any non-agendized items? Is there any public comments? Seeing none. Make sure I'm on the right agenda here. Okay. Item 3, corrections to the agenda or consent calendar. None. Item 4, adoption of consent calendar. Do we have a motion?
I'll move adoption of the consent calendar.
Second.
And that motion passes unanimous.
Okay to proceed? Okay, no items brought forward, so moving on to item 6A. Mark, Al Tahoe and Bayview well backup power and Al Tahoe well rehabilitation.
Hello, Mark Silos, Water Resources Manager. Megan told me that we want to start making these a little bit shorter, so I'm going to try to limit myself to half an hour. And so let's just get going. So 7 years ago. No, but in seriousness here. So this item is engineering services during construction for the Al Tahoe well rehabilitation project, Al Tahoe Bayview Backup Power Project. The scope of work here from Kennedy Jenks, who's been involved throughout the design and planning for this, is pretty typical for ESDC. So they'll be attending construction meetings. They'll be helping us field submittals, RFIs, submittals, requests for information, change order requests, requests for quotes. They'll also provide some limited on-site specialty inspection services related to things that we can't handle in-house, like instrumentation and controls. They'll be helping out with commissioning and startup, and they'll be doing record drawings. And this will be a task order for the whole course of construction, and it's expected to carry us through project completion by the end of fiscal year 2027. The cost is $299,600, and I looked at 5 similar previous projects that we've done, and this is consistent with the standard of about 4 to 5% that we spend on ESDC compared to the total project construction cost. And so I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Any questions from the board?
No, your last statement answered my question, so now I'm good. Yeah, I'm just still excited this is moving forward. It's been a long journey.
Likewise.
Yeah, we're mobilizing next week also. Yeah.
Are there any questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, what would you like us to consider?
1, approve the attached scope of works for Kennedy Jenks Consultants to provide engineering services during construction of the Al Tahoe and Bayview Well Backup Power Al Tahoe Well Rehabilitation Project. And 2, authorize the General Manager to execute task order number 14D with Kennedy Jenks Consultants in the amount of $299,600.
So moved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Moving on to standing and ad hoc committees and liaison reports. Item 7. Nick? Kelly?
Well, I don't want you to break the record.
We've got closed session.
So Mark, come back. Get Mark back up here.
Yesterday, this is good. Shane, double thumbs up. I vote for Shane for president right now.
So seriously, did have the El Dorado Water Agency meeting yesterday, and I know we've been working pretty closely with them on a number of items. I know Rebecca, the executive director, was up here yesterday. Tuesday, excuse me. And yeah, I think we're starting to resonate in terms of with the other board members and Rebecca about The district's needs on the east slope of El Dorado County. The El Dorado Water Agency covers the whole county, but a lot of their work is heavily focused on the west slope. And so with our tax dollars going down the hill, we just want to make sure we're trying to make a push for our needs up here. And so the good news is that in the fall, they're scheduling a plenary session up here with partners and stakeholders to look at, you know, East Slope needs, Tahoe Basin needs. So I encourage staff to kind of work with the water agency on that agenda, just making sure we're really identifying some things that we can maybe have them help fund and do. And then I also know we're talking to them a little bit about the Groundwater Sustainability Agency role and those SGMA responsibilities. So good partnership forming. Hopefully we can translate it into some either offloading some of our planning work or actually getting some funding to do some of that.
Is that part, because typically they have a meeting up here in September.
Yeah,
is that
so,
part of the meeting, or is that a separate
No, so that's
event?
a whole separate thing, a stakeholder, but the board meeting will be here next month. So again, for the staff presentation, let's make sure we're queuing up kind of, you know, what our needs are up here and where we see the water agency fitting into that.
Yeah, we are, and that's currently scheduled for the 10th of September. And
Yep.
usually it's at 10 a.m., but it's going to be 9 a.m. And the reason we're doing it early is because on the same day, Tahoe City is having a little kind of grand opening ceremony for their water treatment plant out there. So some of the members I know from the water agency want to drive over there for that.
Perfect. Thanks.
All right, I have a little report out on the Ops Committee, which was held on August 12th. Joel and I were there, Megan and Chris, and who else was there? I think that was Adrian, of course. So I guess we do have an item coming forward from engineering on the blower project. It's coming up next month probably to the board. And we did get a solar update, but I don't know if you wanted to refresh that here now, or if there's something you want to do, or something. Okay, so then we'll get into that in a second. Making progress on the lead service line inventory. We've finished our depth audit, and we are starting to dig holes to check for the types of pipes and stuff that are going into or out of our system and into people's property. The Elks Club well is offline, and they're working through some issues on that, and we'll get that online soon. We talked through some fire preparedness items related to the communication system. Chris, I'm not sure if you want to comment on that, but much of that was us getting in alignment with the City of South Lake Tahoe system. So we're not going to be operating our own. We'll basically be working together, and it's a good way to stay kind of integrated with them as well. We had a little update on the Camp Richardson beach closure. It sounds like the issue there was not our fault. It was something that was related to a basically a lateral or something that was on the Camp Richardson. Yeah. See what else.
Like, do we know what caused the what transpired? I mean, it's not terribly relevant, just out of curiosity.
It sounded to me like the understanding that there was a kind of a misalignment on a pipe on the lateral and leaky lateral and yeah. Okay. But in terms of, I think everything has been resolved in terms of testing and all that kind of stuff, so there's not going to be more detects.
As an aside, my family was at Camp Richardson staying, and yeah, my brother's tent were ruthless. Yeah, I really wore that on that one. Yeah. Yeah. No, I actually put it back on my sister, in fairness, with a very similar comment, Nick. But you had to flip it around. But yeah, no, so, you know, appreciate it.
Okay. Let's see. Export line, recycled water facility, Luther Pass, pump number 3. There's going to be some, I guess, investment there again. And coordination on the Bijou stormwater pump station. And I think that's all I've got, unless you want to add anything else, Megan.
I think the only big thing we talked about was the valve ponds.
Oh, the valve ponds. I'm sorry, that was a huge item. Yeah. So very important, critical, probably very expensive project that's coming online with the ballast ponds that are used to help move the water through. And so that's something that's probably going to make its way to the CIP project. And yeah, we did talk quite a bit about that. It's a little touch and go on that one. So anyway, we thought we had it resolved with some of the grouting and stuff that we had done in the past, but apparently that's not good enough. So okay, that's all I've got on item 7. Moving on to item 8, board member reports. I always have something to share here.
No, I'm just going to add. I've been waiting. Okay. All right, then I will, in an effort to keep the meeting short, I will cede all my time.
Okay, so we're going to make him wait one more because we're going to go to item number 9A, tax roll update from Ryan.
A week, man.
Good afternoon. Yes, I was here about a month ago to have the board approve our interim tax roll list. We've now concluded the tax roll process with the county, so I wanted to circle back and give you the final numbers that ended up going over there. So when we first had the initial list, I brought you a list of 824 parcels with a total delinquent balance of just over 1.4 million. When we finalized that list in the first week of August, it came down to $980,000 over 559 parcels. So we brought in about a month, just over about $420,000. So that's pretty good, and it came in under $1 million. So the final makeup of the account was similar, or the list was similar to how we saw it before. It was about 13% of the total balance was made up of commercial accounts, about 23% on multifamily, and about 63 or 64% on single family. One of the questions that had come from the board at the last presentation was how many of these single-family accounts are enrolled in our customer assistance program. Not too many of them, so I looked at that this time around, and 18 accounts are in CAP right now, but out of those single-family properties, which are the primary accounts that qualify for the program, like I said, there were, or I didn't say, but there were about 462 accounts that were on the final list that were single-family, so that makes up most of the list, but fully about half of those had out-of-town zip codes, so that indicates it may not be their primary residence. So we've got quite a few of the accounts on our tax roll list are either commercial, multifamily, or out-of-town owners of single-family properties. So the cost recovery, so we talked a little bit about how cost-efficient this is to collect our delinquent balances this way. So for this $980,000, the county is charging the district $623. So it's, again, it's very cheap, very effective way of getting that money into us, and very cost efficient. Any questions?
So I just curious how it turns around. Is it, I mean, it just gets rolled into the tax bill and then eventually comes back to us? And,
yeah. So what they do, it shows up as a line item on your property tax statement. They divide it into the 2 payments, the one due by the end of the year and then the next one in April. So as that balance is paid, it comes into us. So the vast majority of it comes in basically like December and April or May of next year. There are a couple people, if you don't pay the property taxes, we track that year to year, and it kind of trickles in over the next couple of years. But that's, most of it comes in on time. Yeah.
It really is just a way that many of our ratepayers choose to pay their bills.
And we have said that,
They
yeah.
pay it either once or twice a year on their tax bill, instead of paying it through their monthly invoice. Yes.
Yeah, we heard from quite a few people who said that they prefer to do it that way. The downside is that you pay a lot of penalties.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So all of the penalties are included in the balance that goes to the county.
Okay. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Okay. I guess, Megan, it's time to shine here.
I have exciting news. Maybe there should be a drum roll. So
Record-breaking.
did receive their city permit last Friday, and work has begun. They've got half the piles driven. They're going to try and finish all the piles by Tuesday next week. They're grading for the pad up at the site for the transformer, and they'll be setting those forms next week, and they'll be trenching the conduit next week. And Liberty's been out here. We've finalized, I think we're close to finalizing the design for Liberty at the connection point. And they're saying about 45 days for all of the racking and mounting and assembly.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic news. I gotta just say, like, I sent a very, full disclosure to the 4 or 5 people in this room, I sent a very terse email in regard to my frustration with the individuals responding to city comments want to reiterate that had nothing to do with STPUD staff, of course, but my frustration with those folks was at an 11, I guess I would just tell you, and partly because I'd gotten some information yesterday that we haven't responded to comments yet. So this news and 45 days is incredibly well received, and absolutely, yeah, fantastic news. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I stressed to them that I would be speaking to the board today and that they need to continue the forward motion that they have right now. So they did have their, I'm not sure what his title is, but he's in the local area, not the project manager that's out there, but another gentleman. He was up here this week kind of stressing that get moving, get this done. So, yeah.
Many years in the making, great work.
Okay. We'll take pictures, and Shelley is, you know, planning for that ribbon cutting when it happens.
Absolutely. 75th anniversary, this is beautiful. Yeah.
We have the ceremony, the opening ceremony scheduled yet? Or are we going to wait to that? don't.
We're jinxing this
Are there
now.
going to be appetizers or?
Oh, God.
Just in time for snow to fall.
I mean, it was faster to get a bachelor's and master's degree than to get this process done, just in context. Yeah.
I will tell you, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to tell you, but I did talk to a firm that did they worked with the Department of Energy and they did an audit for us, and I did just ask them, how do these projects typically go? What are these, you know, design build type vendors? So that's what Staten is. And they said they all do notoriously well.
Yeah.
So I was just expressing some concern, and they told me that we are not in an abnormal rate. So
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
know it's not comforting to you.
No, it's reality, though. I'm dealing with a home contractor, and I told my wife there's no white knights when it comes to home contractors. So don't think that person's coming, right? Because that's the reality of what you're going to face. So no, appreciate it, and again, appreciate the hand-holding and all the effort to get this far. And we're so close. But yeah, no plans until, no jinxing it. Yeah. Just wait.
Great news. Okay, moving on to item 10, General Manager Report.
Yeah, I got a couple of things. I'm assuming that all of you are aware of the Lake Tahoe leadership programs put in by the Chamber. So two of our employees have been chosen for the program this year. One is Chelsea Block in our finance division, and the other is our Director of Operations, Adrian Combs. I guess he doesn't feel like his job keeps him busy enough on Saturdays and Sundays, so he's going to do that. Shady brought up the lead service line inventory. So yes, we are in the potholing phase right now. And the reason we're having to do that is because we have to physically inspect a certain number so we can statistically say we're lead-free. And 220 of those potholes are within the city limits. And the city, you know, has an encroachment fee every time you basically disturb the soil in the public right-of-way. And so they were going to charge us a fee for each and every location where we were potholing. And so the permit fees were going to be about $170,000, which was going to be about the same we were paying to do the whole project. And so I contacted the city manager and just requested that they possibly consider this as just one big project versus 220 individual projects, since this is basically a public health mandate that we're doing. And he agreed, a little surprisingly, but he did. And so that dropped our fees down from $170,000 to $3,800, because the encroachment fee, if you're doing it for one particular project, is just based on a percentage of the cost of the project, so it's like 1.5%. So that was really good, and so yeah, we very much appreciate the city's willingness to work with us on that. Nick, you brought up that Tuesday we met here with Rebecca and some other staff from Eldorado Water Agency, and it was to continue our discussion regarding the district being the GSA for the basin and the regulatory requirements that come with that. And most of that is due to our priority level, which the DWR, Department of Water Resources, considers us a medium priority. And so the Water Agency has agreed to work with us collaboratively to design some language to prepare us and them for a meeting with DWR to try to convince them to lower our priority from medium to low, which would dramatically reduce our reporting and regulatory requirements after that. So, I mean, there's almost nothing to do after that, and so it's not a big deal to be the GSA at that point. And so, we're actually very happy with their willingness to work with us on that. And they do seem like they're becoming a little more receptive over us on the east side here. One other thing, during my review, I talked about how we were trying to set some team building and leadership training for both the executive team and our overall management and supervisory team here at the district. We've got some team building training scheduled for October 1st with the executive team and on November 17th. And then general leadership training for all of our supervisors and managers on the 18th of November. So we'll see how those go, and we're excited to be moving forward with it. And it's with the same guy that did TRPA, Jeffrey Benjamin.
Yeah.
We've heard just nothing but good things about him, so we're excited to have that. So we'll report out on that once we have them. That's all I got.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Way to bring the positive updates today, guys, on the short meeting. This is amazing.
Sure.
And I guess with a note, I did that leadership program, 10 years ago or so, and I really thought it was excellent. I thought it was really helpful too. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Moving on to item 11, there's the past meetings and the future meetings. It looks like the office will be closed on Labor Day, and our next board meeting is on the 4th.
Two very quick closed sessions.
And now we are going to close this meeting and move into closed session. All right, coming out of closed session, nothing to report.